storylines than a good novel tonight to decide a district champion at Norwalk, with a top team in Division III faces state ranked number 6, and each guided by a coaching legend with the same last name as the Sheldon Bowl, about to go down with a spot in regionals on the line. The undefeated Colonel Crawford Eagles and once beaten Western Reserve battle it out in front of a sold-out crowd here inside of the truck stop, and it's all streaming live and free into the palm of your hands. Next.
Nervous?
Oh, Blaze. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies! Not even the ones we're in together!
Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes!
Blaze was there.
Blaze.
Do you have barbecue? Or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi! I'm Seth!
Those were good times.
They were golden.
You ready? Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady! Best friend of my life!
It's nice having that one-on-one connection with each one of your instructors because the class sizes are so small. You can have conversations and understand things better. They know you by name and not just by a seat in the classroom. North Central is giving me the opportunity to be able to have the same education as it would be going to that 4-year, but I can do it at home and I can stay home and still be a mom and work full-time.
It's Freedom Fest, Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more. Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
AP poll champion Colonel Crawford and state number 6 Western Reserve meet to decide the Norwalk district title, and it's all about to go down right here and now. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Burkhart Farm Center pregame. My name's Brian Skowronski. I got Storm Bluntschly with me, and man, I gotta tell you, this game's got more juice than a high C factory. So much at stake here, so many amazing storylines, 2 great coaches, 2 incredible teams. What more can be said, Storm?
I really don't know. I think this is the matchup everyone in this area wanted to see pretty much all season long. We wanted to see it last year. Didn't get it, just a little bit of a tease. And hey, I was pretty excited about the nacho fries at Taco Bell coming back next Thursday.
Right.
But I think I'm more excited for this, and I think that's really saying something.
I think this is a tastier matchup even than the
Yeah.
nacho fries with the cheese,
Oh,
those
definitely.
two, and that's pretty hard to top.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. These two coaches who are going to go down in history as the best in the history of their programs both already have elevated themselves into new levels. Meeting for just the second time. The first meeting came a season ago early on in the campaign. Western Reserve built an early lead. Colonel Crawford came back to win on their way to back-to-back undefeated regular seasons. So this is a program with a head coach. They've got it figured out. They've got some incredible athletes, Storm, and that's why they're state number one and looking to get to the regional for the 5th time under David Sheldon.
I mean, yeah, that's right on the hitting the nail right on the head, Brian. They got 3 guys in the top 10 in scoring: Mason Studer, Carter Valentine, and Braxton Baker. Of course, leading them is Mason Studer with 18 and Carter Valentine right behind him with 17.7. I mean, just top to bottom. Colonel Crawford and Western Reserve just so skilled at everything. They are a matchup nightmare from the 1 to the 5.
And for Colonel Crawford, dominant all season long, just one of their games decided by less than 10 points.
Wow.
So on their way now to 25-0. They have just been blitzing the competition. You talked about Studer. This kid, no question about it, he is going to be a first-team All-Ohio performer when those awards eventually come out. The leading scorer on the team, as you mentioned, and the best assist artist in all of North Central Ohio.
Yeah, definitely. 5.7 assists per game. That is not something you see very often. Like you said, leads the school or broke the school assist record. But an underrated thing I think about him is his rebounding.
Sure.
6.4 per game. That is no slouch on the glass when you're talking about a guard. With his size, those are some outstanding rebounding numbers.
So Studer expected to be a major part, of course, tonight of the fabric for the Eagles if they are going to be victorious here. But on the other side, Chris Sheldon's squad, very, very competitive all season long. Their only loss to the top team in Division 4, who's competing for a regional next week.
Yeah, and I know I got my beef kind of over there with the people at Western Reserve, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Western Reserve having another standout season, and they lost a couple of key players last year, and there were some doubts around the area if they could be able to get it done again this year, but they have squashed all that. They have just been outstanding, absolutely phenomenal. And the best part about them is they play true team basketball. No one guy goes out and scores 30, 40, 50 a night for them. It is top to bottom. Just they love to share the rock and play just great, solid, all-around team basketball.
They play phenomenal defense, too. That's the calling card of head coach Chris Sheldon. And very much to your point, our player spotlight tonight for the Rough Riders is a kid who is a standout in the semifinal contest to win over Willard. Averages 8.8 points per game, but in that one, 15 points in the first half of his 18 really carried the squad to victory.
Yeah, definitely, and 3.8 rebounds and 2.2 assists to go along with that, Brian. When you pass your season average in the first half, you know you're doing something right on the offensive end.
That was Matt Jarrett. He was our MVP here. Talked to him, and such a humble kid. Him and his twin brother Jacob, part of the large nucleus of seniors that they have here at Western Reserve, a team that we've been following along, coached by a legend there now in his 20th season, Chris Sheldon, and I had a chance to talk to him just a couple of minutes ago. All right, Coach, back-to-back district championship appearances for you, but now for the first time in your career, you're the defending champion. How might that change your outlook or just your overall feeling heading into the contest?
None whatsoever, It's a different year, different group, so, every year's a little differently, and so that really doesn't impact you. The only thing it gives us both an advantage on is most of our guys have been in this moment. They've watched these moments, so they know what to expect, and they're not going to get too overhyped. They're just going to play another game of basketball as if they have a million times before this moment.
The senior class took a little bit of a backseat, having the two-star players the last couple of seasons. What have you seen from them that's allowed them to shine here now that they're kind of on center stage?
Who they are. They just continue to stay true to themselves. They're a really tight-knit group, and they're not trying to be somebody they're not. And that's the most important piece for us is don't play outside of yourself. Just be who you are, and And when we do that collectively with all 7 seniors and our 1 junior, we're really pretty good at it.
Preparing for the #1 team in the state, what would you say has been your biggest point of emphasis, your focus in getting prepared for tonight?
Got to make them earn everything. We can't give up easy ones, you know. They're really good for a reason. They're going to make some big-time plays, and we got to move to the next possession and not dwell on it. But what we can't do is give them easy ones. When you're playing good teams, live ball turnovers that lead to easy layups, we're giving up wide-open layups in the half court on breakdowns. Those things can't happen because you can't avoid to give a good team the extra bonus points like that.
And then getting the opportunity to coach against your brother tonight, someone I imagine you admired in the game of basketball growing up, but you actually got into coaching first before him. What would you say are some things that you've noticed that maybe David's taken from you that he's kind of modeled for his game and his success?
I don't think David's taken a whole lot from me, other than he's true to himself. He knows who he is. He's comfortable in his own skin. I think we both just share ideas and bounce things off of each other every week we do. Almost daily, and that's a luxury we have, and that's the beauty of it. But for us, we've been trying to kick the snot out of each other for 43 years. Tonight's not really going to be any different, and the way I look at it is, we've already won. We've gotten to 22-1 when nobody expected us to do that. We're back in the district championship, and I'm not fearful of coaching against him. If it was his wife, I'd be a little more nervous, but it's really not going to be about me and Dave. It's going to be his kids versus mine, and whoever kids make more plays is going to come out on top.
Well, definitely Amy's in the building. She's sitting up top here, so don't look up in that corner to try to avoid the intimidation, Chris.
Hey, as long as she's not on his bench, I'm happy. She can sit wherever she wants as long as it's not on his bench.
All right, well, last year you were trying to get the monkey off your back, win the district championship. Tonight, wishing you a lot of luck, trying to go for back-to-back.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, you want to talk about a family affair tonight at Norwalk. How about David Sheldon's kid bringing down the house with the national anthem? One of the better performances that I have seen all season long. That was phenomenal. All right, I've got Garret, G-Man Parlett with me now. He's going to break down the recipes to success for both sides. Let's begin with Colonel Crawford here, G. What's the mixture for the Eagles that gets it done?
I think here for the Eagles tonight, Brian, they're going up against a team defensively that they haven't really taken on a lot this year so far. They got to match the intensity Western brings on really every given possession. Western, they're going after every 50-50 ball. They're giving all they got on every single play. Colonel Crawford's got to match that in some kind of sense. And I think Colonel Crawford, they win the star battle in this game. They got the 2 studs on their team, Studer and Valentine. They got to feed those guys. You love the bench depth for Western, but stars win in the tournament, and they're going to need Studer and Valentine to step up big here today.
So if those two can get it done, jump into your mixing bowl, the Eagles may be flying on to the regionals yet again. What about for Western Reserve? How do they defend their title?
Well, Brian, vice versa of Colonel Crawford. They might not have the stars out there. I know they got Jude Munns, but they got to pour in that bench early and often. Go to it as much as possible. They've done it all year. Don't get away from the bread and butter. Continue to pour in that bench. They got a lot of depth on that team. And then, of course, turn up the heat defensively. They've known that the entire year. Their defense wins them games. Colonel Crawford hasn't went up against a defense, in my opinion, as tough as the Western Reserve Rough Riders. So I think if Western Reserve wants a chance to win this game, it's got to start how they win games, and that's on defense.
All right, that's Chef Boyardee joining us, breaking it down for you. If either of those things happen and jump inside of the mixing bowl, you can expect success tonight. All right, now it is our turn, Storm. Let's break down our keys to success tonight for both squads, and we'll begin with Western Reserve. Where does it begin for them?
I think for them, they got to control Studer, and I know, that's a lot easier said than done, especially with a guy who averages almost 20 points per game, but make someone else beat you, even if that means that Carter Valentine has to put the backpack on, has to do everything for them. As long as you can take away one of them, I think that you should be fine. Force one of those guys who doesn't play such a key role step up.
They got to unload the tank tonight. What does that mean? When they get in there, they have to go all out, full bore, and just leave it on the floor. I would expect nothing less from Western Reserve. That is what they have been doing all season long. What about for the Eagles? How do they get back to the regionals?
Well, I think that they need to play through their dynamic duo. Mason Studer and Carter Valentine, they've been doing it all season long. Everyone's been gushing about them all season long, and that's for good reason. These two guys can ball out, and they're going to have to do it tonight. Put on their best show, put their best foot forward, put on their best dance. Any analogy you want to make, they're going to have to do it if they want to get past this Western Reserve defense.
And I know that you know a lot about being a dynamic duo, so I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to piggyback right on top of you. Just play your role. Have the two stars do what they do, and then the complementary pieces need to get in where they fit in at different times throughout the game. That's what's got them to this undefeated mark so far. But that guy right there, he certainly has been special. He will go down as arguably one of the greats in the history of Colonel Crawford basketball. That, of course, being Mason Studer is going to be in the starting lineup, brought to you by the Burkhart Farm Center. He's going to be joined in the backcourt by Braxton Baker, Carter Valentine as well, and then on the inside, Nolan McKibben and Carson Fickner. Excellent starting five here for the Eagles, and I think you can say the same exact thing for the boys over there wearing the blue jerseys here tonight. All seniors in the starting lineup for Western Reserve. This is a group that has played a ton of basketball together and a lot of winning basketball storm when obviously they check in here as the defending champions.
Brian, we are witnessing a piece of history right now. This game will be talked about for ages. This is going to be such just a fun and exciting game. I cannot wait.
And you don't have to wait anymore. We are officially underway from the truck stop, as that will wrap up our Burkhart Farm Center pregame. And the Eagles right away get an open three. Rebound secured by Baxter. He's stripped inside, taken away by Garret.
Hey, despite that, I like what they're doing, playing through the dynamic duo. Studer gets inside, drives, kicks. McKibben was open right there on the perimeter, just didn't fall, but that was a great pass from Studer.
Here's Hankins, short quarter, drives in on Baker. Really tough shot affected by the defense.
Defenses came to play tonight, Brian. No points here so far yet in this one. Just a really tough physical game.
Both teams outstanding offensive units, but I think they each would admit that they're probably better on the defensive end of the floor. As McKibben drives in, kicks back out for Fickner. 5 wide right now for the Eagles, looking to spread the floor. Now Carson to the rack. He gets fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2.
What I like here early on for Colonel Crawford is they're not settling for the outside jump shot. There's Fickner getting inside, taking the foul, taking the contact, and getting rewarded with 2 at the charity stripe.
You saw it all on our Milestone Event Center instant replay. But still no score on our First Federal Community Bank scoreboard here, Storm. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the winner of this game maybe in the low 50s or the 40s, just given the defensive prowess that both have showcased all season long.
Definitely would not be surprised. And how much of this do you think is kind of the nerves factor setting in? I mean, this is probably some of the biggest games any of these kids have played in, and I know a lot is on the line. So, I mean, how much do you think of this as kind of just nerves?
Certainly at the beginning, I think basketball games can be compared very favorably to like a big title fight in boxing or MMA. You want to fill them out. You want to see how they're going to play you early on and then try to make adjustments on the fly. So wouldn't be surprised if we have a very low-scoring first quarter as that process unfolds here before our eyes. Fickner chased out of the corner, and he's going to push off. Offensive foul called against Carson.
Great defense there from Carson Rowe. Establishing position, making the defender push off, really getting up there, frustrating the offensive player. That was some terrific perimeter defense.
And I want to say what's up to all 475 of you watching on our Facebook right now, and I will dive into the comments section at our first time out. We'll read a lot of them over the air throughout the course of the night, so make sure that you're dropping us some bombs in the comments section. Light it up, and you just might be featured on tonight's broadcast. Hankins clean look inside. Rowe with the first field goal of the night.
Wow, great awareness there by Rowe to make the backdoor cut, moving without the basketball. Another thing Western Reserve does really well, they don't stand around, they don't play iso ball. A lot of backdoor cuts, and right there, Rowe takes advantage with the easy two.
Studer with both Jarretts on him. Able to escape one. Twin kicks it off. Corner three. McKibben halfway home. And now Fickner with the kick out for Baker, and he lights it up.
It was only a matter of time, Brian, before Colonel Crawford's offense got jump-started. But for Western Reserve, can't let them get heated up. Got to stop the bleeding right now.
Here's Matt Jarrett. Threw it away. Studer read it. That one won't fall, and Matt clears. Munns looking to be aggressive.
Oh.
Shook the defender out of his shoes, but the mid-range J off target. Valentine won't draw the whistle.
Wow, silky smooth move right there to the step back. Unfortunately, it doesn't fall, and a good call right there by the referee. I don't think that was anything ill-advised, but Valentine not able to keep his feet. But wow, rocking the baby right to sleep on that crossover.
Now here's Edwards, who just checked in for the first time tonight. Establishing Munns down on the block. No look pass. Chris Buchanan also into the mix for the first time for the Rough Riders this evening. Two-man game at the top. Munns pulls the trigger and finds nothing but the bottom.
Wow, confidence right there to step up and knock down that shot with a hand down right in his face. No hand down, man down right there. That's just better offense.
Studer picked up at half court. Walks his way into the half court set. Now back to him, and you see they're looking to trap Mason a lot so far in the early going. Though we'll get a whistle, and this one's going to go against Western Reserve.
That's a little scary too, Brian, because Studer, when the extra guy is coming throughout the season, he has been able to find the open man. It's a guy with great court vision. It's almost like he's got two sets of eyes. He sees his open man no matter what. So you got to be careful when you're bringing that double team from the backside, because he will find that open man.
Anytime you're the program all-time assist leader, you have to have at least 3 eyes, I would think, Storm,
yeah,
to be able to dish out all those helpers that he's had throughout his career. Fickner gets picked off. Munns read it. Pass in traffic is broken up by Mason. And they're going to say last touch by Buchanan. Let's take a look on the Milestone replay, see what we see.
Gorgeous steal right there. And Western Reserve just trying to get going a little too fast. I don't know about that one. I think that was last touch by Colonel Crawford, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle.
Eagles trail by a point. As nothing offensively has come easy for either team yet. That's about as clean a look as we have seen all night long. And it drops for Derek Horsley.
Wide open there. Great court vision to find the man open in the corner, especially down there on the low block. And that's a warm-up jumper. I could have made that one.
Edwards stepped out of bounds on his way down the baseline drive. Munns checking out. Hankins back into the mix. Both Jarretts as well. Here comes Valentine.
Oh.
Pretty spin like he was in the teacups at the carnival, and Horsley draws the foul. He's going to have a couple of free throws on the way.
Brian, let me ask you this one. Whoever wins this game, do you think that they have a pretty good shot at taking a dance at Dayton?
Well, unfortunately for both of these teams, I believe they are going to have to match up with Ottawa Glandorf when they get into the regional rounds. So it will not be easy to get by the Titans and one of the best players in the entire state. However, both of these teams, they have 7, 8 real, true, great basketball players on the floor, so I certainly give them a shot. I don't think it'll be like a couple years ago when Glandorf just wiped the floor with Crawford when he got there. Munn's cooking, leaves it off, and Buchanan drops home his first field goal.
Great penetration there into the painted area. Found the wide open guy down low on the low block. That was just a great pass and a great offensive set for Western Reserve. They bring it to within 1.
Valentine's been very quiet so far offensively with almost 6 minutes gone by. Don't believe he's attempted a shot just yet. Here's Braxton Baker. Left-handed drive, a couple of fakes, turnaround jumper, smooth.
Wow, that was a sweet move there from Braxton Baker. That was not an easy shot. That was terrific defense, but just even better offense as Baker able to finish over the top.
Buchanan got right around his defender to the rack.
Tough physical play right there, as Buchanan able to get right by his defender. Grown man strength right there. Got the blow-by animation and finishes with a layup.
Oh, Studer with a nice juke. Drew the double team, though. Pass out of it. Leads to a wide open triple straight away. Bombs away for Horsley, his second.
What a great passing play for Colonel Crawford, just finding the open man, making the extra pass. A couple of times they could have taken some contested jump shots. They move the ball around, not playing selfish as Western Reserve tries to answer with a 3 of their own. They don't get it, but collect the rebound.
It was Jacob Jarrett sneaking in to create the extra possession. Now he tries the middle of the floor, sets up Jude. Kaboom! What great back and forth action here in this opening quarter in front of a sold out crowd inside of the truck stop. 1 point game in just 30 seconds until the second quarter comes.
And that was just what I was about to say, Brian. The atmosphere in here is crazy. This place is packed. I don't think there is a single open seat right now. This is wild.
Standing room only, no question about it, as Valentine was able to get to the 10, misfired. And no bueno for Jacob Maddie on the second chance. So it leaves the door open for Western. Final shot of the frame. It's Edwards. Yes! And that'll take us to the end of one. Incredible action so far here early on in this contest. Everything that we expected from the Sheldon Bowl on full display so far.
It's nice having that one-on-one connection with each one of your instructors because the class sizes are so small. You can have conversations and understand things better. They know you by name and not just by a seat in the classroom. North Central is giving me the opportunity to be able to have the same education as it would be going to that 4-year, but I can do it at home and I can stay home and still be a mom and work full-time.
I mean, how could you not be entertained by the first quarter of action that we were just all witness to here at Norwalk? 15-13, Western Reserve leads it after the bomb drops to close the frame. And now Jude Munns with an and one opportunity on the way.
A little rude of Jude Munns to interrupt you right there, Brian, but the and one, what a play. Able to keep the composure down low as he finishes the layup, and things start off a little slow for both squads, but the offense picking up. I think this one's starting to turn into everything it cracked up to be.
3-point play the old-fashioned way. Largest lead either side, 18-13 in favor of the Rough Riders. Garret staying stride for stride with Studer. Now here's Fickner, forced outside. Valentine trying to post up, can't get a look. Nice hesitation. Defense collapses though, and again they have to give it up to Carson at the top of the key.
Long possession here for Colonel Crawford. Brian, it almost looks like they're playing a little frantic. They need to slow down, not let the crowd or anyone else get into their head, play their brand of basketball. They haven't been in this situation very much before, but Studer able to show the composure and knock down the easy two-pointer.
Almost took, I think, about a minute off the clock there, off that possession. And to your point, I think they did wait until they got a solid look. And Studer just doing what do you do?
It was off to a slow start, but I wouldn't be surprised if that two-point bucket ignites a big offensive step for him as he has it in the open court.
Mason with the fake floater off target. Athletic play by Rowe to get it off to Matt Garret.
Yeah, floater alert right there, but Studer, you ain't Tony Parker, man. That floater's going to need a little bit of work.
Now here's Munns in a crowd, kicks it out. Garret spins and called for the travel. Take a look on the replay here. You tell me if you see it.
I didn't really see that one either, Brian, to be honest, but I'm kind of accustomed to the NBA speed. You get six steps in the big league, so maybe it was an NBA travel there.
Gives the ball back over to Crawford. You'll see Western all night just pick up full court, man-to-man, trying to wear you out throughout the course of the night.
And these are guys that do not get tired as we get another travel call, but Western Reserve, they will play you like that all night long. They do not care. Like the Energizer Bunny, they just keep going and going and going. They do not get tired. I mean, me out there, I'm playing maybe one time down and back, and that's it. These guys, they'll play the whole game like that.
Both teams very well conditioned. I don't anticipate fatigue will be a factor at any point in this contest, especially the way that both coaches like to utilize their reserve units off the bench. Here's one right here. Buchanan might have got away with a walk. Now Munns with McKibbett on him. Spins inside. And Garret lost the handle. Back-to-back giveaways now by Matt Garret. Offensive foul. Carter Valentine picks up the personal. Got to see this one again.
Wow, what great play recognition right there by Jude Menz. Gets in front. Maybe they offer some acting classes over there at Western Reserve. A little bit of a flop, but he got it enough to sell the call.
So Munns gives Valentine his second. Forces Carter over to the bench. See if the Rough Riders can capitalize with the Ashland University commit out of the action right now. Garret gets the switch back to him in the corner. It's Buchanan. Slipping it inside to Rowe. He got fouled. 2 free throws in his future.
What a great hesitation move that was right there on the perimeter. Gets the defense to bite, and this is as easy as pretty much anything else, is finding that little pocket pass down low, and that one's going to be no good, but a chance for 2 at the free throw line.
First free throws tonight from Carson Rowe. Hits the front with the first.
And something I love, Brian, about both these head coaches is how intense they are, as that free throw is true, but both of them, they don't sit down during games. They are up no matter if they're up 50 or, well, I don't think either of these teams have been down 50, but no matter what, these two coaches just always into it.
That is the mark of a true Sheldon, as that is out of bounds and back over to Western Reserve. You touched on it in the pregame. It doesn't feel like Colonel Crawford has gone against the team that's been this intense on the perimeter defensively, and it's shown so far, I think, through a quarter and a half.
Yeah, definitely. These are guys as, wow, Camden Haskins forces the timeout, but these two teams are, Western Reserve, they close out. They don't care if you have a wide open shot. They're still going to try their best to close out. So aggressive on the perimeter, and it is really giving the Eagles a lot of problems.
This timeout brought to you by Baker's Pizza in Bucyrus. Come join them today for a great meal and a great time with friends or family. Tonight's district basketball broadcast also brought to you live and free by these generous sponsors: North Central State College, Frito-Lay, good fun, Burkhart Farm Center, farmers serving farmers, Freedom Festival Ohio. Buy tickets online following the link in this game description to see country music's hottest stars right here in Ohio coming up in July. First Federal Community Bank in Bucyrus, and the Milestone Event Center, the perfect venue for weddings, wedding receptions, and large parties. You can visit them at www.themilestoneevent.com. And last but not least, Kohl's Energy Inc., Ohio's premier provider of fuels, lubricants, and additives. They are our player of the game sponsor here tonight.
This may surprise you, Brian, but Baker's Pizza, their nachos, phenomenal. That's my favorite thing to get there. Now that's got me hungry. Maybe I'll stop by after the game.
Not surprised at all to hear that their nachos are tasty. Everything that I have tried at Baker's so far has been exquisite. I know that it is a favorite stop for one of our crews, Brian Hart or Greg Collins. Every time they go over on that side of the state, they're stopping by Baker's.
Well, it's hard not to. That is some good food over there.
7-point deficit here for Colonel Crawford. Largest margin that they have faced so far. Studer long two. Couple times off the rim and no good.
Studer not able to get that one to fall, but I do like that shot, that mid-range elbow jumper right there at the free throw line as Western Reserve cues up a three. No good, but I like that shot from Studer.
Now here's Baker, called for another offensive foul. Second time Western Reserve has basically got that exact same whistle blown in their favor.
I wasn't really sure about this one. Want to see the replay, and he was moving his feet, but I think the forearm extends there just enough for that to be a charge call.
And that's something clearly Western Reserve works on in the transition for their defense, to get in front, set your feet when someone has a head of steam, and right now it's cost 2 offensive fouls against Colonel Crawford, who has 5, as that one finds its way home. 10-point lead now after the triple by Munns.
Wow, Western Reserve is unconscious from behind the arc. Their offense cannot be stopped. Colonel Crawford gonna have to find a way to answer offensively.
Where are the points going to come from? No one's been able to really get in a rhythm outside of Horsley knocking down those pair of triples. Here he is with the basketball, though, and he finds a crease, able to sneak inside. Can't get it to drop.
And with the double team coming on Mason Studer pretty much every time he touches the basketball, someone else is going to have to step up. Like I said pregame, as Western Reserve gets inside, no good, but someone else is going to have to step up for them.
Oh, that would have lit the house on fire had Jude been able to cap it off. Instead, it's transition, offensive rebound, and a good look inside. Eagles got a lid on the basket right now. This is unreal. Valentine stripped, jump ball call. Everything going in favor for the kids in the blue uniforms.
And Matt Jarek really, really hurt on this close baseline. But, I mean, wow, great defense there from Western Reserve. I'm just speechless. Colonel Crawford really needs to find a way to score.
And we're going to have an injury timeout as we've got Matt Jarrett down on the floor. grabbing his left knee. One of the key players, of course, for Western Reserve. Our player spotlight tonight, Matt Jarrett. Pull him up yet again, show you what he was able to do just a couple of nights ago in the district semifinals against Willard. 18 points and carried the team on his back on the offensive end in the first half, 15 of their 20. He was our OH Report MVP. Talked to us after the contest and really outlined how much fun this has been for the team and how they're a total collective unit, Storm, with those 7 seniors that have all bought in and give it 100% every single night.
Yeah, and something you can definitely tell from Western Reserve, something you can't teach, team chemistry. This is a group of guys that really likes each other. You can tell they've known each other for a long time. They play really well together. They mesh super well together, and that's just something you can't teach, honestly. That just comes with growing up with these kids. As thankfully, Matt Jarrett is able to get up and seems like he's going to walk off on his own power.
Him and his twin brother, both going to be headed to Mount Union in the fall. Going to go continue the journey as twins together at the college level. I thought that was pretty neat. Their mother, Christy, filling me in on that tidbit of information. Just really tight, both on the court and then off, of course. You don't see a ton of twin combos that are starters on the same team that are huge contributors like this Western Reserve squad. So it's really been fun to watch them play with one another throughout the season, Storm.
Definitely, and I bet their practices are intense. That sibling rivalry, that's no joke. I am sure that they are going at each other's throats during the practice. I'm sure they kind of make up after, but, man, those practices are probably intense.
I know that David Sheldon's practices always are. Has his kids wearing sweatsuits out there in the MAC, and you know they keep it pretty warm in that Cracker Jack box that they have out there in North Robinson. So it keeps the kids conditioned. They get their sweat pouring as that rainbow missed everything from Valentine. He is out of sorts.
The offensive woes continue for Colonel Crawford. They are ice cold right now. I don't even know how many possessions in a row it has been without a bucket from them, but they have got to put something in the microwave here soon.
Rough Riders with a chance to build already on their double-figure advantage. Don't think too many people saw this coming in the first half. Jacob Jarrett back iron, though. Studer pushing the pace. Sets it up for Valentine, drives in. Blocking foul this time. See it again.
Not really sure about that one as Studer posts up his man, kicks it out. See right here, and I don't know about that one either. That one could have gone either way, I think. I think maybe his feet were sliding just a little bit. At the end of the day, I think the ref got that one right.
And it keeps the basketball with the kids in the white uniforms. Studer, every time he tries to drive, you see the help side. Everyone just sags in. It has been next to impossible to get a clean look at the 10 for the Eagles. Now here comes Mason, tipped out of his hands. Recollects and sets up Baker from the corner. And Edwards secures.
What an amazing closeout there from Jude Menz. Never gave up on the play, closed out, and got far enough out to bother that shot from Colonel Crawford. What a stellar defensive game plan it's been for Coach Sheldon.
And it's younger brother Chris, whose squad has the basketball here, trying to hold for the final shot. They're going to take a full minute off here, Storm. This is best case scenario if you're a fan of Western Reserve.
Definitely is. Just cannot turn the ball over. It's perfectly fine if you miss, but just make sure you're not giving Colonel Crawford any time to get off another shot, and don't give him any momentum going into the second half.
Jarrett comes middle now, checks the clock, 15 seconds. They nearly committed the sin you said they couldn't, and they catch a break that might have last been touched by Western Reserve. Let's take a look.
Well, I thought that was a travel right there. I thought he lifted the pivot foot, but I also think that was off of Western Reserve. So Rough Riders getting a couple of calls here in the first half.
Can they capitalize, though? with the final shot here of quarter number 2. Munns gives off. Now Hankins to the top, back to Jude, 2 seconds to go, can't split the gap. Fichtner with the heave at the horn, taking us into the break. Gotta be impressed with what you've seen from the Rough Riders, most especially at the defensive end as they lead it by 10, heading in to the locker rooms. Keep it here. We will have the Burkhart Farm Center halftime on the way. Stats, analysis, we'll read your comments as well in the Facebook chat, so keep it here. We'll return live and free right after this. Hi, I'm Always Report founder Brian Skowronski, and you've just enjoyed first half action live and free exclusively right here on the OH Report. But stick around, still plenty more to come right here as our boys high school basketball returns after this.
Nervous?
Oh, Lays. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies. Not even the ones we're in together.
Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes.
Lays was there.
Lays. Do you have barbecue or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi, I'm Seth.
Those were good times.
They were golden.
You ready? Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady. Best day of my life.
It's nice having that one-on-one connection with each one of your instructors because the class sizes are so small. You can have conversations and understand things better. They know you by name and not just by a seat in the classroom. North Central is giving me the opportunity to be able to have the same education as it would be going to that 4-year, but I can do it at home and I can stay home and still be a mom and work full-time.
It's Freedom Fest, Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more. Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
time here at Norwalk, and inside of the truck stop, people have seen a 10-point differential so far. Western Reserve, the 6th ranked team in the state, right now taking it to AP poll champion Colonel Crawford, undefeated heading into today. We'll see if that train, that streak ends here this evening. I'm Brian Skowronski. Storm Bluntschly is joining me on the call. Give me your impressions of the first 2 quarters, and through your eyes, through the eye of the Storm, what are you seeing unfolding?
Well, the eye of the Storm tonight is seeing, I'm just speechless. I don't even know what I'm seeing out here, as Western Reserve's defense has just been absolutely incredible.
They're good.
They have held Mason Studer to 2 points and Carter Valentine scoreless. Wow. How many times have you seen that this year?
Scoreless? Nope, haven't.
So Western Reserve's defense just absolutely phenomenal. And another thing that I've seen for Colonel Crawford is Studer in the fast break needs to attack the basket more. He knows the double team is coming if he slows it down to a half-court set. I'd like to see him taking advantage of the one-on-one matchup he has. With that being said, he has to be careful watching those Western Reserve Rough Riders trying to draw the charge, but I'd like to see Studer maybe be a little bit more aggressive here in the upcoming half.
Here are the numbers through 2 quarters of action presented by Burkhart Farm Center. And you see it's even with rebounds, fouls pretty close, same thing with turnovers, but those 5 bombs that the Rough Riders dropped in the first half, a big difference maker. And then the 9 total field goals with the Eagles, I have to guess 5 for them in a half. Got to be a season low.
Definitely. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Colonel Crawford, they're looking at something they've never seen before. This Western Reserve defense is just different. It is a different beast than what they're used to. And if they want a chance to come back into this one, it's going to have to start on the offensive end for them. They have to find someone who can put the ball in the basket reliably, and they cannot turn the ball over. They cannot give free possessions to the Rough Riders.
You mentioned that this was something that we have not seen before in terms of the Eagles. How about the matchup that we have never seen before in tournament play? The Sheldon Bowl played out tonight. A lot of people anticipating this matchup for the district championship. We have got it, folks. And look at these 2 legends, the winningest coaches in the history of both of these 2 programs. Look at all the tournament wins, both of them with 29 during their illustrious careers. Coach Chris finally broke through and got his first district championship. Matter of fact, it was the first for Western Reserve since 1963 last year, looking to go back-to-back. And over on the other side, during his 16 seasons, Coach Sheldon, 4 district titles, looking for a 5th if they can come back and secure a dub.
I mean, I can't believe what we're seeing. It's like seeing a unicorn, Brian. It is just absolutely wild. And I do not know who's going to win this one, but I do know one thing for sure.
Fill me in.
There's going to be one awkward Thanksgiving at the Sheldon household next year.
Ooh, yeah, no question. Chris outlined it for us during his pregame interview that they've had some battles going on for 43 years of life since these 2 Sheldons have been around together. It is certainly a treat to watch them both competing here tonight. And we see you out there in the comment section. It is time to fill in the viewing audience on what we're reading out here. All right, how about Dave Wolf watching from Florida? He says, go Sheldon Brothers. Sharon Snipes letting us know the Buckettes are going to state. We did just check in. Yeah. And how about that? Buckeye Central, a 16-point winner tonight over Downton. They will indeed head down to Dayton. Adriana cheering on the Rough Riders, says go Riders with a couple of hearts. Spirit with their team colors. Adam Lewis also cheering on the Riders. Leslie just enjoying the matchup, says go Sheldons. Daria, this is a great game. I think she's right. It's been better if you're a Western Reserve fan up to this point. Guy just with some flame emojis flying out there. Eric Youngless from deep, he says. I got to anticipate that was in regards to some threes that we saw from Western Reserve early on. Refs got off the blue bus. Ooh, Patrick suggesting perhaps that they're siding a little bit with Western Reserve, but we don't necessarily disagree. A couple calls have gone in their favor, Storm.
Definitely, and check out Adam Lewis thinking we should be down there in the stripes calling the game.
Well, we have the benefit of replay, Adam, so it's a little bit more simple for us not doing it in the heat of the moment. Greg saying, so glad that we have this media platform. You are very welcome. So happy that we get in for free and we get to do this job. This is pretty cool. Go Eagles, says Megan. Go Rough Riders, says Jerry. There are just way too many to get to. Dave again watching from Florida, from Mount Gilead, Kristen, and Jeanette watching from Venice. All right, that's going to cap off our halftime reports brought to you by Burkhart Farm Center as we are just seconds away now from the third quarter. How does Colonel Crawford get back into this game, in your opinion, Storm? I believe you kind of already told me it kind of starts with number one, right?
It definitely starts with number one, Mason Studer. Then again, it also kind of starts with the other four guys on the floor. They have to recognize that the double team is coming on him as soon as he gets the ball and know to get open, try to space the floor as much as they can, maybe try to find some open threes. Studer will find you.
Yeah.
You just have to be open. You cannot let four guys guard five. It just does not work out. You have to take advantage when the extra help is coming. We'll see if they can capitalize here at the start of this third quarter.
Reaching on Mason right away here to start off the third. Just 7 seconds in. Studer picks up the personal foul. Just his first, though, of the night.
And one thing I did want to mention, Brian, in that sea of comments, no Linda Mendoza tonight.
What? Where you at, Linda?
You know, the whole family's staying over there this weekend, so maybe she's caught up in some sort of craft or something.
Hopefully making some tamales for us in the crew.
Yeah.
Munns turns the corner, picks up Fickner with him on the switch. Valentine leaks over, so it opens up the driving lane. Jude takes full advantage.
Wow, great start to the third quarter right there. After the foul by Colonel Crawford, Jude Munns takes advantage and gets to the 10 for 2.
Largest lead of the night here for Western Reserve. Colonel Crawford has not been anywhere near this situation so far this season. That'll help get him a little bit closer. McKibben with the big bomb.
Right there, finding the open man. Double team coming. No, don't freak out. Don't, just stay calm. Get the ball to the open shooter. That will be the result more often than not. That's a warm-up jumper for McKibben, and he's able to make the Rough Riders defense pay.
From the corner, Hankins. Nice fake. 4 Eagles swarm them, and they got a piece of it. Studer zips it to the corner. McKibben from the other side. No bueno this time.
That's all right. Great vision right there by Studer. Push the ball up the floor before Western's defense can get set. They got a good, clean, open look from McKibben with a shot he just made in the other corner. That was a great offensive set for Colonel Crawford.
Matt Jarrett from the corner, shaken up in the first half, and you see he hobbles over to the bench and tells his coach he's got to come out.
Definitely, and that's just, as a player, I know you want to do everything you can for your team, but the safety of the player comes first. I'm glad Matt Jarrett taking a seat on the sideline right there. Hope he's doing all right. Hope he's going to be okay.
They'll spell him out for Chris Buchanan. As the Eagles continue to get harassed outside of the arc defensively by Western Reserve.
And just look at the off-ball defense here from Western Reserve, just playing directly in the passing lanes. If I'm Colonel Crawford, backdoor cut. Right now, I'm sending Braxton Baker on a backdoor cut as there's a lot of contact there in the painted area.
We saw early on in the contest Western Reserve be the beneficiary of a couple of these calls. Now the last 2 have gone against them, as that will go down as a blocking foul. Excellent fake by Fickner. Buchanan, though, met him at the rim. Thought he went straight up, but the whistle came, and 2 shots on the way.
So Colonel Crawford able to create a couple of turnovers, and Fickner just going to work right there. Great footwork, able to execute the post spin move there to perfection. Doesn't get the shot to drop, but will get 2 free throws.
Short with the first line driver.
And these are the ones you have to convert. If Western Reserve is going to stop the clock and allow you to get freebies at the line, you got to take every opportunity. As Fickner able to take that second opportunity, 1 for 2, splits the pair.
Munns drives middle. Help came. And Rowe called for the travel, just couldn't hold up. It looked like he wanted to get it to Hankins on the back door, but it wasn't there. Turnover here for Western Reserve.
And here we go once again. Colonel Crawford, big defensive stop. They have to convert these into points, though. They cannot leave these opportunities on the floor. They have to score it here.
Studer being hounded by Jacob Jarrett, who draws a 5-second violation. I can't imagine that Studer has faced that very many times in his whole career.
Definitely not. And like we were talking about, Western Reserve, they don't get tired. They play that hard perimeter defense, and that wears you out. That is not easy to do throughout the course of an entire game. But Western Reserve, they don't take their foot off the gas. They play defense through 4 entire quarters.
Jarrett, big three right there. Extends the lead back out to double figures.
And that's exactly what we saw in the first half. Western Reserve just launching absolute bombs from the three-point line, able to convert right there once again. They have been red hot from behind the arc.
See if Valentine can get something going. Still scoreless on the night, folks. Going to be playing at the next level at Division II Ashland University. And he's sensed a little bit of frustration, I think, with the defense that Western Reserve has been able to apply on him.
Definitely, and right there, right when the double team comes on Studer, too much standing around for the Colonel Crawford offense as they swing it all the way over to McKibben.
He goes baseline. Jarrett tried to draw the foul, got some space, and connects.
McKibben, big step-up shot right there. That's his second three of the quarter. 6 points already here. Maybe that's what they need. Feed McKibben. Let the kind of unsung hero get his.
Side to side goes Western Reserve with the ball. Munns with Valentine on him. Now Hankins pulls the plug. Loose ball foul is going to go against Western Reserve.
And Brian, that shot was falling in the first half for them. Don't like to see that one. Seems like they're settling a little bit. Would like to see them try to penetrate and maybe get some easy two-pointers inside. But that shot did fall in the first half, but can't be too reliant on it here in the second.
Edwards on Mason Studer. He's going to get his team into a set after the order barked out by head coach David Sheldon. Nice move, good find inside. It leads to a trio, but no points. The recovery speed by Studer that time, forcing the transition break, but Valentine couldn't handle it.
Yeah, definitely. Great defense right there from Studer. Pushes the ball in the fast break. He's got Carter Valentine with him. Little too much on it. Looks like Carter Valentine took his eyes off the ball, lost it out of bounds, and it will be Western Reserve basketball.
Nearly a 5-second count there on the inbound. Some fans calling for a double dribble on Jude. Official was right there, must have got poked out of his hands, as it does there, and back to Papa. Munns in the paint.
That is just too easy for Jude Munns. He walked right down Broadway Street into the painted area, and that's just too easy of a shot to give up here in this stage of the ball game.
Baker tries the middle of the floor. Gets the switch with Rowe. McKibben left open again. Can't deliver.
Defensively now, Colonel Crawford's got to step up as timeout on the floor, but Colonel Crawford got to string together some stops, and they have to convert those into baskets.
This is a timeout sponsored by Baker's Pizza. And every time I say that, it was a mistake to give that spot to them, Storm. I see you rubbing your belly. They've got some great food, of course. And how about the full entree being put on display tonight by Western Reserve, both sides of the floor. They've made some big shots when they've needed to. impossible not to be impressed with how they've controlled the Eagles. Such a high-scoring team. Well over 60 points per game is what they average. Just 22 now, and we're getting towards the final minutes of the third quarter.
Definitely, man. And it once again just comes back to the defense they've been able to play on Studer and Valentine. A combined 2 points for them. You can tell the frustration starting to build for Mason Studer as he gets double teamed, just getting hounded on the perimeter. He needs to kind of cool off, collect himself, and get back into this one. Colonel Crawford, still a lot of time left. 10-point game. I mean, there's an infinity amount of time left for them to get back into this one. And on the other end, Jude Munns with 16 already tonight. Another stellar performance. He is turning it up to the next level here in the playoffs.
Leading scorer for Western Reserve has been dynamite. Garret hands off. Here is Jude. Catches a screen. Now backs it out as they get the switch on him. Matched up with Jacob Maddie. Series of moves leads to the step back triple. Saucy right there.
That guy watches a lot of James Harden highlights, Brian. That was a picture-perfect step back for three. The confidence to take that shot at this point in the game, wow.
No match answer at the other end. Studer continues to be cold from the field. Down to 90 seconds here before the fourth comes. Western Reserve in prime position to defend their district championship. So many around the area counted them out this season after graduating. The two All-Ohio performers, including the District Player of the Year and Luke Rollinson, who is here in the building tonight. Watching Carter Valentine with a strip, but then he loses it back. Might have got away with a foul. A lot of contact leads to a three. And the loose ball foul goes against Maddie at the end.
I didn't see really a lot of contact there on Jacob Maddie. Let's take another look at it. The three ball off for them, and I didn't see an extension of the arm or anything, so a curious call there from the refs.
It's team foul number 2 against Crawford. Rough Riders just have 3. And the defensive intensity starting to pick up for the Eagles. But Garret gets free, and when he's loose, he is on.
Just too easy for Western Reserve right now as no one got back, no one picked him up on the fast break, and that forces Colonel Crawford to take a timeout.
It's another Baker's Pizza timeout. Let's take this time to watch that entire last bucket play out here. Storm, break it down for us.
I mean, you just see Studer gamble a little too much on the steal right there, and then Jude Munns just doing what he does best, pushing the ball up the floor, and then the trailer, the inbounder, Jacob Garret, stepping in rhythm, and that is just too easy of a shot for Western Reserve. They've been hitting them all night from behind the arc. You got to stop giving them. You got to close out. You got to know where the perimeter shooters are. And Colonel Crawford, that was their first time really putting a lot of pressure full court on defense, and not a good start for them.
Game starting to get away from them too here, Storm, as we're approaching money time, and we're almost at blowout status.
Yeah, we really are, and that's honestly surprising. I thought we were going to see a tight one throughout this one, and I'm not saying Colonel Crawford's out of it completely, but with the way they're playing, I mean, they are doing themselves absolutely no favors.
Every possession so large now for the AP poll champions to try to dig themselves out of this large hole that they have created. Just seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Fickner, easiest bucket I think Crawford's had all night.
And that's a good start for them. Get a layup, get the offense back on track. Colonel Crawford going to have to play pretty much perfectly now throughout this one, but I think if there was a team that could do it, it's Colonel Crawford.
The 1-2-2 is broken. Sets up Edwards backside. Excellent cut. So the counterpunch delivered on target by Western Reserve. Chance for the final shot, though, for the Eagles. Valentine uncorks one. In and out, no friendly roll, and we are headed to the fourth. 40-24. Chris looking to get the upper hand here in the Sheldon Bowl.
It's nice having that one-on-one connection with each one of your instructors because the class sizes are so small. You can have conversations and understand things better. They know you by name and not just by a seat in the classroom. North Central is giving me the opportunity to be able to have the same education as it would be going to that 4-year, but I can do it at home and I can stay home and still be a mom and work full-time.
This is money time here inside of the truck stop. The Norwalk Division III District Championship up for grabs, and it looks like Western Reserve might be riding on the path to back-to-back district championships. I'm Brian Skowronski. Storm Bluntschly is with me here on the call. Another emphatic quarter, extending their lead there in the third as the Eagles have been stymied at this end of the floor. Carter Valentine scoreless until that bucket right there.
That's his first points of the night. Him and Studer now just with 2 points apiece.
Wow.
But one bright spot was Carson Fickner able to knock down a couple of triples. They're going to need a lot more from all of their players here tonight if they want to come back in this one. It's not over, but Colonel Crawford, they got to play their best basketball of their careers.
Yeah, I saw that they were getting the fat lady warmed up to sing. So while it is not officially in the books, venturing close to teetering at that point if Western Reserve can get a couple of more buckets. Eagles by their own right, one of the better defensive units in Division III. They've done a pretty nice job too. Western Reserve just 40 up to this point. But there has not been a match at the other end for Crawford, who gets a jump ball here. Valentine starting to step up his game to start the fourth.
Wow, that was a late jump ball call to say the least. That one definitely looked like a travel. Jump ball, whoa, I don't know. That one I think was a travel, but for Colonel Crawford, starts on the defensive end. Got to stop Western Reserve. Can't let them score, especially not like they have been all night, leaving shooters like that wide open. And I mean, that is just too easy.
The lone junior who gets into the lineup, Chris Buchanan, stepping up, coming through. Big dagger triple.
The confidence there from the junior to knock down that one in rhythm, Garrett. Or, sorry, you're not the illustrious Garrett Parlett. You're the illustrious Brian Skowronski, but, I mean, that is just too easy. The rotation, the extra pass there from Jacob Jarrett. Skip pass, finds the open man in rhythm, and that's what's been Western Reserve's strong point on offense all night long.
The Eagles have been grounded all night, starting to find their stride here as they're 2 for 2 on offense now, getting field goals.
Good three-pointer there from Studer. Going to need quite a bit more of those if they want to come back in this one, but that's a good start. Now they got to string together some defensive stops.
Munns backs it out with Horsley on him. Now Jarrett had been nearly perfect on the night from beyond the arc. Woo. Oh, excellent catch by Derek to set up the three. That was huge, Storm. If they get back into this game, remember that play.
Definitely. That was the play. You could sense the momentum shift a little bit right there. Western Reserve now on their back foot. They got to keep their foot on the gas. Play to win. Don't play to not lose. Play to win.
Foul back the other way. As we'll dive into the replay. Look at that catch, the athletic ability, and then Braxton Baker never thought about it. Spirals it through the bottom of the net.
Got a little bit of the stickum on the hands right there as he rifles that one into the corner, and the rest of that play all but history. That three-pointer, wow.
Hankins with the first of two. And Valentine with the defensive board. And I appreciate here in the early goings of the fourth quarter as there's a foul on the floor, you sense the desperation here from Colonel Crawford. They have not been in this situation at all this year, Storm, so how are they going to react? So far, very well. They've trimmed down the deficit here in the first 2.5 minutes of this fourth quarter, but much work to still be done.
Yeah, definitely, and in my opinion, this is the best basketball they've been playing all night here to start off this fourth quarter. If they can keep this up, they may have a chance to come back. They're just going to have to play, like I said, the best basketball of these five guys' entire career.
Carson sets up McKibben and keeps the possession alive. Now Baker.
Wow.
Opposite side, same result as his last trifecta. 9-point game.
If you're Western Reserve, I kind of like the timeout right now. Slow down the momentum from Colonel Crawford. They had it all as they knocked down another triple, looking to create some turnovers on defense.
And it certainly got Chris Sheldon's attention. He was sitting very comfortably. He's now up pacing the sideline.
Oh, no.
Wow, the roof would have popped off this place had McKibben been able to cash that one in. He still does get to go to the free throw line for a couple.
Just like that, Brian, a 9-point game with a chance for two more as McKibben steps up to the line. But first, we're going to see a timeout from Western Reserve, and the Crawford fans love it.
Again, all timeouts presented by Baker's Pizza in Bucyrus. Take a quick moment to thank all of our exceptional sponsors that help bring you live and free coverage exclusively on the OH Report, including North Central State College, Frito-Lay, where it's always good fun, the Burkhart Farm Center, farmers serving farmers, Freedom Festival Ohio. Buy tickets online following the link in this game description to see country music's hottest stars going down in the great Buckeye State in July. Baker's Pizza in Bucyrus. Come join them today for a great meal and a great time with friends and family. First Federal Community Bank, located in Bucyrus. Milestone Event Center, the perfect venue for weddings, wedding receptions, and large parties. Visit them at milestoneevent.com. And Kohl's Energy Inc., Ohio's premier provider of fuels, lubricants, and additives.
Here we go, Brian. All the momentum on Colonel Crawford's side right now. These are two big free throws for McKibben. 9-point game. Whew. Wow, it's starting to get intense.
And the Eagles' run will continue.
And, Brian, what do you think Western Reserve was talking about in that huddle right there? It seemed like they were playing a little sloppy. They took their foot off the gas a little bit right there as McKibben true on that one. But what do you think that conversation was like in that huddle?
Probably just try to keep your poise with the Eagles really elevating their game right now defensively. Taking care of the basketball is at a premium. Just don't get rattled. It's easy for us to say when we're up here watching the game and you're going against the #1 team in the state. But there's a lot of seniors on the floor that have played a ton of basketball games together for the Rough Riders. Just settle things down and know that your buddy, your brother's going to step up and do his job at the right time. It's probably what I would have been preaching if I'm Chris Sheldon. But he's got 20 years experience. I'm not sure my message really equals the greatness that he's been able to come through with. Oh, nice. Crossover right there by Hankins. They drop it off inside row. Pocket picked.
Another turnover for Western. Colonel Crawford got to attack here, got to be aggressive. Studer for three. Another one unconscious. The comeback is real.
I have no idea how this is just a 2-possession game in a blink of an eye. Garret, beautiful fake, draws a crowd. Free throw line is his next destination. But what a comeback right now for Colonel Crawford. Let's go back to that last bucket in transition.
I mean, just look at Valentine playing a little bit of point center right there. Finds his guy, Studer, deep from three. Wow, a lot of confidence at a big moment in this one to bring it within 5.
And a ton of time still remaining.
Definitely. I mean, 4 minutes, that is an eternity in a basketball game, especially one only decided by 2 or 3 possessions. We're in gear for an exciting finish.
Rough Riders push the lead back out to 6. But Crawford, boy, have they been cooking with the sriracha here at the offensive end in the 4th quarter. Looks like that'll continue.
4-point game right now. Points are coming too easy. Western Reserve on defense just falling apart, letting Colonel Crawford do whatever they want on the offensive end.
Foul on the baseline drive that time. It'll be the 6th foul, I believe, against Crawford. So that was their last foul to give before Western Reserve start shooting free throws in the bonus. Studer whips it into the Western Reserve student section. Might have knocked a kid's eye out or something. That had a lot of pace on it.
Yeah, that was a rifle right there on a frozen rope. Whew, hope everyone's okay in that epicenter.
Got another Baker's Pizza timeout taken on the floor. It's going to be a 30-second timeout by the Eagles and head coach David Sheldon. And I think we can say that this one has lived up to the hype. We were looking forward to it, the Sheldon Bowl, basically from the start of the season. David versus Chris here tonight. You're talking about 2 coaches from a coaching legendary background. Their father in the Hall of Fame in the Ohio coaching lore. 36 combined seasons here, over 600 wins, and a lot of tournament action for them too.
I mean, this is just a star-studded cast of local celebrities here on the basketball hardwood. Both these guys just such great coaches. They've had such great programs for a long time. And, you know, for David Sheldon, having a 2-0 lead over your brother, especially in a game like this, wow, that would be awesome.
Brothers have only met one time ever as opposing coaches. That last year in the regular season, won by the Eagles, as you just mentioned. So younger brother Chris would love to even it up, have the bragging rights be equal when they sit down at that Thanksgiving meal. But maybe even a little extra, because there's a lot on the line tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a regular season game. As Western Reserve able to convert. Wow, Carson Rowe putting in a big-time layup.
A lot of contact, too. That was a strong bucket at the rack. Skip pass. And now Rowe read it at the other end, making big plays, both sides. Foul will send Hankins to the free throw line.
That was just a lazy pass from Nolan McKibben. I mean, Carson Rowe was right there. McKibben, you got to be smarter than that, especially at this late in the game. That turnover costly.
Monster free throws, or could be free throw on the way for Camden Hankins if he cannot convert the first. Clutch.
That one's the hard one. Now comes the latter half of it. This one is not easy, but it is the easier of the two, definitely.
Makes them both.
Only 8 points now for Colonel Crawford. Slow down. Doesn't have to be a 3 right now, but pretty much every possession has to be a score of some sort.
Munns went flying right there over into the Eagles bench.
That was just some awesome defense there from Jude Munns. Picked Mason Studer clean, something that does not happen very often. Studer very careful with the basketball, but just quick hands. Almost got the hustle play to go through, but just some stellar defense top to bottom for Western Reserve.
They run Baker off the screen. Now McKibben. Fickner nowhere to drive.
Oh.
Studer misfires from three, would have been a huge one. And the ball rolls out. Munns with the heads-up play calls a timeout as he collects the basketball, and he is granted a Baker's Pizza TO.
Jude Munns a little shaken up there. It seems like that right knee is bothering him. Limps off, but seems to be okay, able to get off under his own power. And for Colonel Crawford, seems like things have cooled down for them. They kind of lost their stride offensively, not being as aggressive as before. With only just a hair over 2 minutes left to play, they got to start going.
Got to credit to the Western Reserve Ziploc defense, tight on the perimeter all night. They had a few creases open up here in the fourth quarter. The Eagles were able to capitalize on those cracks in the armor. But the couple of converted free throws right now for Western Reserve, those are big. The 8-point differential. Eagles not done yet, though.
And for the Eagles, you don't have to foul right away. Try to create a turnover, but the free throw shooting contest is going to start here soon. And I think Western Reserve's ready.
Riders are a fantastic free throw shooting team from top to bottom. All these veterans out on the floor. Munns to the rack, left hand. Here comes Valentine. Nice cut. Carson met at the rim by Edwards, but he got fouled.
And Brian, I am not a fan, as we take a look at this replay, I'm not a fan of the shot on the other end by Jude Munns. You have a big lead here late in the fourth. Pull it back out. You don't need to score any more points. You just kind of have to hold on to the basketball. Make Colonel Crawford foul you. No reason to take a shot that early. But a heartbreaker right there as Carson Fickner not able to knock down the first of two.
Every opportunity so massive for the Eagles, who got themselves back in this game. Got as close as 4, but the wheels getting a little shaky now on the wagon. We'll see if they come off completely as Western Reserve back with the basketball. $1:43 to go. Trying to close this out. Jacob Jarrett will have an opportunity. 1-and-1.
What a heartbreaking possession there for Colonel Crawford as Fickner not able to nail either of his free throws. That's just rough. That really hurts if you're Colonel Crawford trying to get back into this one. And now the free throw shooting contest starts. And I think Western Reserve and Jacob Jarrett are ready.
Arguably the largest free throws of Jarrett's career. 75% on the season up to this point. You can count on this guy.
Definitely, and the first one falls, still has one more. This would push it to 10, and I think it would be just about over.
It swirls out, though, so the window stays ajar, at least for now.
Yeah, door's still open for Colonel Crawford, but they got to go quickly.
Carter Valentine, if you're just joining us, folks, has not done much of anything on offense. But he conjures up a huge three there as Munns is down on the ground. Hate seeing that.
It's just that knee once again, and Munns tried to come back. But that knee it's really bothering him, and he's in a lot of pain. You hope he's okay, but that is scary.
Let's take a look at the Milestone Event Center replay on the last 3 points. You see Jude, how he went down there.
kind of just bang these with Colonel Crawford player setting the screen. That hurts.
And so Jude still down, getting tended to by the medical staff of Western Reserve, who has just helped the senior up, and he's not taking any help. He's going to walk it off on his own. He is a true warrior, one of the toughest guys at the entire school. And I don't even think he's going to ask to check out. Well, I think he's going to have to because they took the injury timeout, but he'll probably check right back at the scores table.
And I think, honestly, if you're Jude Munns, you kind of just sit the rest of this one out. You really can't let Colonel Crawford shoot wide open threes like that. I know you kind of want to be out there, do everything you can for your team, but first of all, his safety and health comes before everything, but can't be giving up open shots like that.
Fickner read it like a safety, stepped in for the interception. Now Studer forces it up. Free throws coming up for him, a chance to cut it back down to just a couple possessions.
And this is the second best thing that Colonel Crawford could hope for. They go to the line. If only he had made that shot, that would have been the first best. But, hey, we'll take stopping the clock and trying to nail some free throws here with no time running off the clock.
And look who's already back at the scores table. Munns did not stay out for long. And that's kind of his MO. He's the guy who leads the team in minutes played. He usually gets short breathers right back into the action. Injury's not going to slow him down.
Definitely not. And Studer showing the confidence right there, knocking that one down. These are some clutch free throws for him. And, I mean, this one, a ball game once again.
Just to make it a 4-point game. Now the Eagles got to make up some ground on the defensive ends. Either get a steal, force a missed shot, or you got to put someone on the line and hope they miss. This is not the gentleman that you want shooting if you're an Eagles fan, though.
And, Brian, you got to think back to the free throw opportunities Colonel Crawford's had. They've left 3 points here at the free throw line, and that is a huge margin. That would have brought it to within 2 for them, but unfortunately not able to convert. Now Western Reserve going to have an opportunity to push their lead further.
Garret hops it off the rim, and here comes Valentine. What a huge possession as we're closing in on 60 seconds. The AU commit from the elbow.
That is just icy. Wow. Carter Valentine, who's been struggling all night long, rises up, nails it, and brings the Colonel Crawford Eagles within striking distance.
Are you not entertained tonight, folks? The Sheldon Bowl delivering as we anticipated that it would. 2 teams going back and forth, some heavyweights. The 6th-ranked team in the entire state, Western Reserve, got out to a huge lead. We thought they might rock the baby to bed early, but just too much energy in this baby that is the Eagles, the #1 team in the state. They have clawed their way back in, roaring back within 3, as close as they've been since the second quarter, Storm.
Yeah, and the fourth quarter, that's when Colonel Crawford decided to wake up. And, hey, you know what? They did it. It took a while, but they finally woke up playing their brand of basketball, the basketball that they're used to. This is why they're top ranked, overcoming a double-digit lead here in the fourth quarter alone. That is no laughing matter, and there's still a lot of time left. Don't have to foul immediately if you're Colonel Crawford. Apply the pressure in the backcourt, make Western Reserve uncomfortable, but everyone in attendance on their feet for this possession.
No seats being used right now. Sell-out crowd, standing room only here at Norwalk, and they are seeing a debut. Wow! Oh! Eagles fans can't believe it. Oh, no, they changed the call, Storm. They changed the call. They say this was last touch by the Rough Riders.
Wow, Colonel Crawford, defense when they need it most. Studer now with the basketball.
Right down the middle, fouled by Jacob Jarrett. He's heading to the free throw line to make it a 1-point game.
Honestly, nightmare possession for the Rough Riders, but smart play by Jarrett to foul right there. Studer missed one on his last attempt, has 2 here. Don't give up the easy basket. Don't give up the easy layup. Make Studer earn him at the free throw line.
They'll do just that on the first, and you would expect nothing less from the senior leader. I'm still a little bit stunned that we're even in this situation.
I am too. Colonel Crawford, double-digit lead here in the fourth quarter alone. Wow, it has been awesome for them. And check out the full-court defense. The 5 call, the team defense from Colonel Crawford. Wow.
Carter Valentine letting the crowd have it. Eagles fans erupting right now. Carter starting to find his stride on the offensive end too. Scoreless at halftime. And now here in the fourth, these two senior captains feeling it. Great defense applied there by Jacob Jarrett. Takes the ball out of the hands of Mason. Valentine nearly stripped by Jude. Down to 25 ticks.
Colonel Crawford maybe trying to wait for the last shot.
Oh, what a dish inside Feichner!
What?
Eagles take the lead.
Oh my goodness, wow, that is electric. Studer doing what he does best, finding the open man, and Fichtner with the layup. Colonel Crawford surmounts the 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter.
Fichtner just took his time, never got shook in the paint with all the bodies and hands collapsing around him. The Eagles in front for the first time tonight, I think.
I think tonight, yeah. For Western Reserve, though, Brian, where do you go? The offense just has not been there. After 3 quarters of solid play, the wheels kind of fell off the wagon. Where are you going in crunch time?
Gotta put the ball in the hands of Jude Munns. Let him cook with the salt from the top of the key. Maybe put him in a screen game, a double screen or something. I want him making the decision of where the basketball ends up for the go-ahead shot.
Well, here we go, Brian. We're going to get our answer right here. Potential Game of the Year candidate. This one, as exciting a finish it can get. Every fan in attendance once again on their feet.
Eagles are going to drop back and pick up in half court. They're going to start with the ball in Jarrett's hands. Here comes Jacob Jarrett to Edwards. Clock down to 10 seconds. Picked off. Carter Valentine came away with the basketball, and Baker fouled with just 3.4 ticks. So a disastrous offensive possession here, and it's all Carter Valentine coming away with the theft. He has been superb in this fourth quarter after not doing anything at all, Storm, through 3 quarters of play.
Both him and Studer, they have awoken. Western Reserve, they poked the sleeping bear, and Colonel Crawford answered the phone. What a comeback it's been, and the fantastic play from Studer and Valentine. Just wow.
Baker's going to shoot 10 team fouls now on the Rough Riders.
Oh.
And the door wide open, even if he makes this.
Only 3.4 though, Brian. The Rough Riders, they're going to have to go fast if they want a chance to tie this or take the lead.
They do have one more timeout. Baker splashes the second, and it looks like Coach Sheldon is going to take that Baker's Pizza timeout right now, try to draw something up with 3.4. There's not a ton of different ways that you can attack this. You're going to have to go quick, and I think given the time, Storm, you almost have to try to look for a 3.
Definitely. With 3.4, you can't run a half-court set. You have to take the ball all the way up the length of the court. You can get a set shot off, but it's going to have to be a 3. And just like you said, Brian, I cannot even believe we are in this situation.
Let's dive into the Facebook fan section now. Meredith Brown just says, wow, with some basketball. Cindy, what a game. Unbelievable, great game according to Karen. Nancy, oh my gosh, go Eagles. Brooke says no. Aaron says yes. The back and forth, stupendous.
And still, Linda Mendoza on the best game of the year, not in attendance. Wow.
Thousands, though, are here inside of the truck stop. Not a single seat being used. Every fan up on their feet for what could be one of the greatest comebacks in district championship history. David Sheldon now taking another Baker's Pizza timeout. Guys, we've been calling for this for a couple of months now, the Sheldon Bowl. It finally arrived. It has not disappointed. Let's bring up the graphic one last time. These two phenomenal coaches, so much at stake here. Bragging rights, a trip to regionals, the #1 team in the state, the #6 team in the state, and it's all boiling down to the last shot. 3 seconds, winner go home, survive and advance.
This is everything that we hoped for in the Sheldon Bowl a year ago. We're getting it a year late. Just wow, what a game it's been top to bottom. What a fourth quarter it's been for Colonel Crawford. It all comes down to this possession right here.
Hankins to inbound. They'll guard the basketball. He sprints, delivers. Munns on the run, steps through. Good if it goes!
It's over, ladies and gentlemen!
Colonel Crawford has come all the way back, down, I believe, by 13 to start the fourth quarter. They wipe out that deficit. They will cut down the nets, knocking off the defending district champions, who have to be flat out stunned, heartbroken. Whatever adjective you want to throw out there, that's how they're feeling here tonight. And it's the exact opposite on the other side for the Eagles.
Now you bring it out. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained, ladies and gentlemen? What a comeback it's been for Colonel Crawford. 10+ points in the fourth quarter. Studer and Valentine putting on a show in the second half. Just wow.
Eagles remain undefeated. They will march on to Bowling Green to compete in the regionals. And how can you not feel for Coach Chris Sheldon, Jude Munns, and that phenomenal senior class of Western Reserve? We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back. So much more here to come on the Burkhart Farm Center postgame that'll include the trophy presentation, net cutting celebration, and an interview with our player of the game. We got to hear from you, the fans. I don't even know who to award it to. That's all on the way, live and free, right after this.
Nervous?
Oh, Blaze. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies. Not even the ones we're in together.
Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes.
Blaze was there.
Blaze. Do you have barbecue or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi, I'm Seth.
Those were good times.
They were golden.
You ready? Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady. Best day of my life.
It's nice having that one-on-one connection with each one of your instructors because the class sizes are so small. You can have conversations and understand things better. They know you by name and not just by a seat in the classroom. North Central is giving me the opportunity to be able to have the same education as it would be going to that 4-year, but I can do it at home and I can stay home and still be a mom and work full-time.
It's Freedom Fest, Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God Almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more. Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Back now for our Burkhart Farm Center post-game show. I think it was the most electric atmosphere I've been a part of all season long for a high school basketball game. Easily the nuttiest finish. And after a 29-11 fourth quarter spurt by Colonel Crawford, the Eagles are your district champions. Brian Skowronski with Storm Bluntschly. What did we just see, man?
We just saw history, Brian. Like I said in the beginning of this one, this game will be talked about for forever. I mean, wow. Mason Studer had 2 points entering the fourth quarter, ended with 14, scored 12 in the final period of play by himself, deservedly so. Colonel Crawford will be crowned D3 district champions.
David Sheldon now will receive his 5th district championship medal as he's got to go over.
Look at the class.
Give a handshake to Chris. Giving some love to Jude Munns. Showing some love to the Rough Riders who competed so hard tonight. Tough to watch them. I don't want to say necessarily unravel in the fourth quarter. It didn't feel like that to me. It more felt like those guys right there elevated to a level that they probably haven't been at all season long. Desperation fueled them.
Yeah, I don't know what Coach Sheldon told him at the third quarter break, but it really got him motivated. That might be one of the greatest quarters in basketball I've ever seen, Brian. Colonel Crawford just putting on a show in the final period of play, playing their best basketball of the season. That's what they needed. They played the fourth quarter perfectly.
So there is your final score here from the truck stop, 53-51. Colonel Crawford coming all the way back to win. If you want to be a part of the Eagles game at regionals next week, go ahead, drop me an email, and I've got tons of sponsorship opportunities. You already know we're going to be following them up to Bowling Green for as far as they can take this thing. Just flat out incredible to watch what they were able to do in that fourth quarter. I don't believe during my career covering high school hoops in this area, which spans 13 full seasons, that I have seen a comeback quite like that. Definitely never at this level with so much on the line. 18-point differential. The Eagles outscore Western Reserve by.
I mean, wow, just in awe. Colonel Crawford, I tip my hat to you. What an incredible performance it was as the net ceremony begins. But I said that they needed to play a perfect fourth quarter, and that they did. They probably, honestly, if there was anything better than perfect, it's what they just did. They executed flawlessly on defense and offense. Just what a game.
It's the perfect words for it, Storm. What a game we just saw here together collectively. A lot of viewership going down on Facebook and you got everything that you signed up for here tonight. Watching Mason Studer help bring his team back. He's going to be our Kohl's Energy Player of the Game. We'll grab him for an interview here in just a couple of minutes as we allow you folks to enjoy the net cutting celebration by Colonel Crawford. Second time in some of these guys' career that they've had the opportunity to do this. They last got to Bowling Green back in 2020 and didn't go so well for them in the regional semifinals against Ottawa Glandorf before COVID came through and then wrecked the rest of the tournament. But they're getting back there again, and this game, the way that it played out, it's got to give them more confidence than they've had at any point in this season. They were just blitzing the competition, just one game decided by fewer than 11 points until tonight. And just, I'm blown away.
I am too, Brian. And now they know what it likes to play from behind. It was something that was kind of scary. Didn't know how they were going to react, being down big. I mean, 10-plus points. That comeback in the fourth quarter, just incredible. But now we know that they can play from behind. And it's more so what can't this team do, because I don't know if there's anything.
Here are the final stats of the night, brought to you by Burkhart Farm Center, and everything so even throughout the contest, as you would expect in a 2-point game. There were bombs being dropped on both sides. Big three after big three. The Eagles just saved theirs for the end of the game in the fourth quarter, where all of a sudden they came alive. They exploded for more than half their points in that final 8 minutes.
That is just ridiculous. I honestly have no words for this, Brian. The defense was incredible for Colonel Crawford. That press they implemented, it did not work in the the first time they ran it. I thought it was over. I thought Colonel Crawford was dead in the water. They kept with it, didn't go belly up at all, went out, got a bunch of defensive stops, scored a bunch of points on offense when they needed it most, and took a 2-point win in a big way.
And it's hard for me, after getting to know some of the kids and certainly Coach Chris Sheldon over on the other side, not to feel some hurt for them. They had the game basically locked up. It looked like they were going to run away with it. Won each quarter for the first three. And then all of a sudden, Carter Valentine gets the party started to kick off the fourth quarter, gets a couple of buckets. The team starts feeding off of it, and once the Eagles went to that full court 1-2-2 trapping pressure, Western Reserve gave it away uncharacteristically 16 times here tonight over their season average, and the Eagles knew what to do with it, cash it in for big buckets. We thought maybe some key missed free throws might cost them. Instead, they come all the way back. I'm just about out of things to say.
Me too. One last thing. I really do think a big part of this one was that momentum shift we saw on the fast break. That three-pointer after the save. You could really feel the energy in the gym shift. It was still, I think, 9 points for Western, or still 9-point advantage for Western Reserve. But you started to sense a little bit of a shift in Colonel Crawford's favor, and that little edge is all they needed for this epic comeback in a game that a lot of people are going to remember for a long time.
We're going to go ahead and take our last commercial break of the night. It'll be just a quick 60-second timeout. I'm going to head down to the floor. We'll be back. I'll try to grab some interviews with as many players as we can, hopefully head coach David Sheldon, and bring you some great coverage as the Eagles are moving on, flying into the regionals. We'll be right back with the Burkhart Farm Center postgame show.
Nice having that one-on-one connection with each one of your instructors, because the class sizes are so small. You can have conversations and understand things better. They know you by name and not just by a seat in the classroom. North Central is giving me the opportunity to be able to have the same education as it would be going to that 4-year, but I can do it at home and I can stay home and still be a mom and work full-time.
back here now at the truck stop. Storm Bluntschly joined by the illustrious Garret Parlett. And Garret, Colonel Crawford fans and players alike rejoice. What a game we just saw.
Yeah, Storm. I mean, running the camera, man, I was shaking in those final seconds of that game. What a performance from Colonel Crawford defensively, and especially that fourth quarter. And Western Reserve just, it wasn't enough in the end. The offense was too stale, and Colonel Crawford really showed why they're such a great team, Storm. I believe they outscored them in the fourth 29-11, an absurd amount. And hats off to the Colonel Crawford Eagles, as they deserve this one.
G-Man, I cannot believe what just transpired live and free on the OH Report.
I didn't think it was possible.
I didn't think so either. I thought Colonel Crawford was dead in the water. I will not lie to you fans at home. I will not lie to you, Garret. I thought this one was over at the end of the third quarter. I thought we were going to see a blowout. Colonel Crawford, I am just in awe.
It started from those three-point shots. They started knocking them down, and were able to just finally get back into the game. And what a performance. I mean, it just leaves you speechless. Like, there's nothing more to say. Just what a game and what a night here for the Eagles.
I really am. I think at the first time in my commentating career, I am lost for what to say about what transpired in front of my very own eyes. If you would have told me about this, Garret, if I wouldn't have been working this game and you would have told me what happened, I would not have believed you. I would have had to have gone and watched the whole game by myself, because I literally would have thought you were lying.
I agree, Storm. They still held a pretty sizable advantage, Western Reserve did, at the start of the fourth. Is that correct?
10 plus.
So, and to be able to come back from that, I believe it was at 16.
Yeah.
It was up there
close
in the
to
teens.
20.
Yeah, so, wow. I mean, how rewarding is that for Coach Sheldon and his staff and his players?
And the thing about it, too, is Western Reserve did not play a bad fourth quarter. Colonel Crawford just turned it up to 150 points. They could have beat any team on the planet in that fourth quarter. They were unconscious.
I heard you mention that Crawford had to play a perfect fourth quarter a couple times for him in that fourth, and that they did. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. The defensive pressure couldn't have been any better, and the offensive play from some of the stars that really needed to step up. Studer only, I believe, had 2 in that half, and then was able to finally get going, and when it got up to 14 by the end of the game.
See Brian down there trying to wrangle the troops. A lot of excitement down there. I think we're going to actually throw it down now to Brian. He's got Coach waiting for him, so we're going to send it on down to Brian.
He's right up here. All right, thanks a lot, Storm. Down here on the floor, I got the winning coach with me now, David Sheldon. I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like that fourth quarter. How did you see it transpire from over there on the bench where you guys overcame a 16-point deficit in 8 minutes?
You know, we were down 16, and we just had to turn the pressure up, you know, and we got some steals, we got some turnovers. And, you know, in our huddles, guys were just like, guys, just one possession at a time. You're not going to get it in one possession. And our guys hung in there. And, you know, we finally stepped up and made some shots, Brian. I mean, that's credit to Western's defense all night. And we made some shots. And I'm not sure exactly, man. You know, in the heat of the moment, it's just I'm happy for our guys. You know, it's a special group of kids. Last year, you know, you look back 367 days ago. I've had to look on my door because of my point guard putting that score against a very good Willard team. And then he put it in every locker. And this team's been on a mission since that day. The off-season work, the summer work, this fall, and this winter. And they're a close, locked-in group, and they just never panicked, and we found a way.
Haven't been in a situation like that all year. You've blown out a lot of the opponents. So for your guys to dig deep in a situation they haven't been in, it was really a treat to see, Coach. And a lot of timeouts in that fourth quarter. Anything stand out, anything memorable that you told the guys within the heat of the action that you felt like really sunk in with everyone?
I just said, guys, you got to run through a wall. You know, it's interesting. Monday and Tuesday in practice, we only played that game last Friday, and we only played 3 quarters against Edison, our starters. And Carson Fickner, Mason Studer say, Coach, we got to run some homicides Monday and Tuesday. That's a double suicide. That's what they call. And after practice, not me telling them, they're running them no time on the clock. And I said, guys, this is like homicides Monday and Tuesday. I know you're tired, But for 8 minutes, you got to run through a wall just like you prepared Monday and Tuesday. And our guys fought through it, and mentally and physically, and we get out of here with the win.
Yeah, moving on to regionals, I imagine you can unpack a lot from tonight, the courage, the energy, the effort that it took for your guys moving forward. We're wishing you a lot of luck, Coach. That was phenomenal, man. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of playbacks on this video, maybe the best fourth quarter I've ever seen.
Well, I feel for Western Reserve. I'm not going to kid you, Brian. I've grown up with all those seniors over there for the last 6 years, at junior high, Eastern Ohio, to high school. Our kids love those kids. At camp, they hang out together, and my best friend's over there. And, before the game and after the game, the media blows it up, and, it's just tough. And I love that guy, and I feel for him. I'm not going to be, you win, and I'm happy for guys, our community, but I feel for that guy and those kids because I love those kids too.
Yeah, class act all the way around. David Sheldon, thanks so much for the time. Eagles moving on, guys. Still undefeated. We'll throw it back up to Storm.
Thank you very much, Brian. And now joined by the illustrious Garret Parlett. And Garret, I'm not sure if you could hear that interview or not, but what a class act Coach Sheldon is. Wow, he couldn't have delivered that post-game interview any better.
Yeah, Storm gave me chills, to be completely honest with
Honestly.
you. Class act from Coach Sheldon down there to his brother. And just being a casual, media member, Storm, I do feel for Western Reserve
I do too.
They had that game, and it just wasn't. They didn't have enough in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't overcome what the Colonel Crawford threw at them. And they're heading home. But if they didn't have to meet up with Colonel Crawford, they wouldn't be heading home here tonight.
Definitely not. And like I said earlier, I don't think Western Reserve played a bad fourth quarter. Colonel Crawford, man, they really just turned it up to 200. And, wow, I just can't believe how well delivered that interview was. Coach Sheldon, both those guys, man, they are just legendary coaches.
And just the relentless demeanor from Colonel Crawford. They could have quit. It was a 16-point game in the fourth quarter. Not a lot of teams can overcome that. That's an unreal comeback. To come back and win this one, the threes were dropping. They were forcing turnovers, and as the game got closer and closer, you didn't know if Western Reserve was going to finally get going. But it's just, wow. What a game and what a scene on the floor. And what an atmosphere this was. This was definitely the best atmosphere that I've been a part of in the 3 years I've been covering high school sports.
All season, G-Man, and pretty much in my career. And you know what? I was just starting to think, too, that, some of the playoff games were a little lackluster when it came to fan attendance, but there were no seats.
No, they were standing behind us as we're calling the game.
Yeah, I couldn't even sit down. And I'll sit anywhere, but, man, I couldn't even sit down. Just what an atmosphere, what a game, it lived up to the hype, for sure. I think it actually blew the hype out of the water.
Oh, I agree.
It was just awesome.
I thought that the blowout was coming from Western Reserve, and then Colonel Crawford was able to somehow, some way, win this game. It's an unbelievable story.
All right, Brian, now standing with our player of the game. We're going to throw it down to him here in just one moment.
Back now with our MVP, brought to you by Kohl's Energy Inc. Mason Studer came alive all of a sudden in the fourth quarter. It was a little bit of a struggle for you offensively, both you and Carter Valentine, but you put all your chips in the middle of the table when it mattered most. If you can remember in that whirlwind of the fourth quarter, what happened when you turned the switch? Describe it to me.
We just kept saying one possession at a time our way. That's kind of our motto on every single one of our scouters. The last final comment is one possession at a time our way. Before every game, Coach Sheldon says one possession at a time our way. We're down 10 going into half. We say, every single one of us says, hey, we need to relax, we need to relax. And when everybody say we need to relax, it gets like, we all get it, but every single one of us knew that. There's no one basket that you can score that gets you 10 points. You can't do it. And just one possession, score, stop, score, stop, score, stop. Coach Sheldon constantly says score, stop, score, stop. And we gotta stop, we gotta score. We gotta stop, we gotta score. We gotta stop. They scored. That's okay. We got to score. They scored. We didn't get a stop, but then we got to stop later. And good teams, they'll answer back, but we just stayed calm. I'm not completely sure how we did it, but I mean, our kids, we get a 5-second call. We get a kid, he was falling out of bounds. I think he got called out of bounds or threw it away. Carson Pickner comes up, we deny everywhere. Carson Pickner, I think, comes up with steal. Somebody does. And yeah, but Western Reserve is a phenomenal team. They are absolutely amazing. It's tough for me. I've really grown really close with those kids. We go to all the same camps. We scrimmage each other in the summers. When we go to Eastern Ohio, I went and hung out at their dorm. So I've really gotten close with a lot of those kids. So to see them hurt, that hurt me a little bit. But that's just kind of how competition in high school sports go. That's the good thing. There's winners, but there's also losers. But
well, you guys moving on. You're still undefeated, and you haven't been tested all season really until tonight. Hadn't been in that type of situation. I imagine you can really grow from this, unpack a lot from what just transpired here. Moving on to Bowling Green now. This team has to be super confident, riding high, and hey, we're rooting for you, man. How much fun do you think that's going to be getting to the regional where you wanted to be all along?
It'll be great. Last time I went to BG, I was my sophomore year, and that's when we were actually the last game in the state of Ohio to play. And we each got like 4 tickets. So don't get me, it was awesome. Now we got killed by a very, very good Otto Glandorf team. I mean, they were amazing. But to maybe have a chance to go back there, or not maybe, we get a chance to go back there now and to have our community there, it's going to be special for sure. But the biggest thing now is we get a chance to go try to put up a fighting chance to maybe go down as the best team in Crawford history. And that's something that I take that big is I wanted to just have a chance to be talked about as maybe one of the greats in Crawford history, and to have a team to maybe be talked about as one of the greats, just to know that we have a chance to play at BG, that's special, and that's all you can ask for is a chance. So
definitely put yourself in the conversation, no question about it. This is our largest viewing audience that we have had for a game all season long. If you want to look up into that camera, give some shout out to anybody who might be tuning in right now.
Just my family. I know they're not tuning in, but my family's always been there for me, and just the whole Crawford community. What we have here is so special, and just to be able to play in front of a gym that you know there's like 4 open seats, if that, that's so special. So it's just such an honor to play here for sure.
All right, well, with all the other swag you got going on, I'm going to add the OH Report MVP pin. You can throw that on your Letterman jacket or whatever you want. Mason Studer, our Kohl's Energy Inc. MVP. One of the best fourth quarters that I've seen. Thanks so much for the time, bro.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to toss it back up to Storm. I'm going to float around. I'm going to see if there's some other players hanging out. We'll keep the action going. I got to hear from a couple of more of these Eagles about what we just saw transpire.
Once again, Brian, once again, our MVP there. Of course, Mason Studer, who kind of put the backpack on there in the fourth quarter. Garret, 14 points. He had 2 coming into the final period of action, and he just put on a show. I mean, wow.
Yes, what a performance from Studer and company. Just, we said really so much, but there's so much to not say, Storm. The game just speaks for itself, and the comeback that they had was something I don't think I'll ever see, at least for a couple of seasons, happen again. And especially at this kind of magnitude of a game in a district final against a team in Western Reserve that in their own rights is one of the best teams in the area.
Yeah, our own Brian Skowronski now standing by with Carter Valentine. We're going to throw it down to him.
One of the Eagle stars giving me some time right now. Carter Valentine, senior season. Things weren't going your way early in this game, man, but you stuck with it. You grinded it out. Fourth quarter, things started to happen for you guys. Tell me from start to finish about the process for you as a player and how you were able to really turn it on at the end.
Well, Western, obviously, as you can see, they play a phenomenal defense. You know, probably the best defense team we've seen all year. Every time I put the ball on the floor, just everyone came in, but teammates open. In second half, my teammates started knocking down shots. But first half, they hit, 8 threes? 8 threes in the first half. It's just, and then we're down 16, 2 minutes up in the third quarter. That's not team basketball. That's just, It's crazy. You gotta love that. That's what basketball's all about. It's team game. It's not about one person, not about two people. We just proved that a team can do it, and we just went through mentally. It's not a loss of words, really. It's just hats off to them. They played phenomenal. It was a phenomenal game, but awesome. Great.
Yeah, awesome game, awesome atmosphere too. Tons of Eagles out here tonight cheering you guys on. What can be said about the environment out there as a player?
I've never been a part of something like this. I went through school all my life where I've never seen anything like this until I moved here, and it's just you just gotta love it. Just people love to watch you play, love to watch the team play, and we gotta keep it going. We're not done, and hopefully next week start off a little stronger. And, at BG, it's gonna be a tough environment, but it's gonna be fun. So.
Yeah, definitely you got to go celebrate this one. Let it all sink in. Maybe watch the playback, at least in the fourth quarter on OH Report. Anybody that you want to throw some love to, man, we got a big viewing audience.
Obviously, thank God, and my parents, my coaches, my teammates, my family, the community for not your support. I love you all. Thank you.
All right, Carter Valentine, one of the stars in that fourth quarter tonight. Very gutsy performance. Thanks for the time, buddy. All right, we'll throw it back up to Storm, and go ahead. Close it out, gentlemen. It's been fun.
Fun is an understatement, I think. Brian, thank you so much. Always providing the insight down there on the sideline. Garrett, closing thoughts. I know we've pretty much just been reiterating the same thing here, but, what else can you say?
Yeah, Storm, I just got to tip your caps really to both teams, but Western Reserve, I know we've been talking about Colonel Crawford a lot, but they played their butts off here today, and they showed that why they're one of the better teams as well. Just wasn't able to knock off Colonel Crawford, but what a performance that they had. Eagles are moving on, and I'm sure we'll be following them.
Thank you so much to everyone who watched at home, everyone who was a part of it. Brian Skowronski, Garret, Parlett, thank you guys so much for being such an awesome crew here tonight. That's going to do it here. Thank you so much to our sponsors, everyone watching at home for making this broadcast awesome. Wow. Can't wait for next week. Going to be an even more exciting week of high school basketball playoffs. But for this week, we are done. It is over, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you on a live stream coming to you here soon.